Hey, today we are going to convert this graphic recipe to traditional. Now, there's a lot of things on it, but don't let that be um, a distraction to you. Um, One thing I need to point out, and if you hear nothing else, hear this. I'll revisit this again when we get to it. Notice how on day 2 we have 1/2 tablespoon of oil, 1 1/2 tablespoons of oil, and somewhere else, 1 tablespoon of oil. That's 3 different oils. When you get to the procedure, I know you're used to me telling you not to put measurements in the procedure, which is still true. But there is a exception to the rule, and here's the exception. When you have something that's listed more than once, you need to specify measurements there. It's kind of like if you have someone in the classroom named John, you can't just say John. You have to call one Johnny or use last names or last initials or something to specify which we're referring to. So you can't just say beat egg and stir fry in oil because we don't know which oil you're referring to. All right. So let's take a look at this. I'm going to split it in two. And I realize that you guys have not a lot of space to work with. You're going to split it in two, and you have to watch this video. So I get that. Okay, so I'm going to open up a new document. Let's see here. No, that's not what I want to do. Just give me a second here. There we go. Okay, we're going to open up a document. A blank document. Okay, I think day 1 is pretty self-explanatory, so I don't want to spend too much time on that. But let's go ahead and look at it anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and copy my title here. Let's try this again. Fried rice day 1. Now we're going to start with our ingredient list. So here we have 2 cups of water, cup of rice, that didn't work. Alrighty, let's just type it out, shall we? Two cups of water. lines, 1 cup of rice and 1 DBSP of butter or oil. See if we could fix this format. Line spacing, single. All right, I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Let's make this big. Okay, so now our procedure. Let's see, let's turn the bold off of there. All right, you can number your procedure steps or not. It's up to you. I'm going to number them. 1, bring to a boil in a medium saucepan. What are we going to bring to a boil? Okay, I can't just copy it from there and paste it there and expect that to be complete. I have information that's in this graphic that's not in this traditional, because this direction is placed next to this ingredient. So that's information that's important that I see when I read this. When I convert to this, I have to use words to convey that information. So I have to tell the reader, bring water. You know, it might be pretty obvious because you're not going to bring rice to a boil, but still, we need to put that in there. Then our step 2 is add rice and butter or oil. Okay, here's our step 1. Here's our step 2. Add. What are we adding? Look at the table. We're adding rice and butter or oil. And the next step, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6 for day 1. Pretty simple, right? Okay. Now let's go to day 2. Enter. Copy. The size of this. This is 20 font. Let's make this 20 font as well. 20 point. Okay, now here we're going to list all of our ingredients. I'll go ahead and pause this and put those on there so you don't have to watch me put each ingredient on. Okay, so now I've got all my ingredients here listed. And I'm just going to put day 2 on page 2. So this is going to take up a lot of space. You don't have to do this, but I recommend it. All right, so there's my ingredients. Now, direction 1. Let's go up here and get procedure. One. Let's turn the bold off. Step 1. Okay. Is that complete? you are making a recipe that you've never seen before for a dish that you're not familiar with, and you saw the word beet, would you be wondering, or would it be completely clear? It needs to be completely clear. Now, I suppose you could say, well, what else are you going to beat but an egg? And you may have a point, but you never know what the author or the writer of the recipe has in mind when you're following a recipe. So when you are the author or the composer of a recipe, you need to make it very clear what is happening. You can't just say beet because it's not very clear. On this version right here, we have a graphic version, and we know it's very clear because it says beet, and it's next to the word egg, but we're not next to anything here. Plus, no, I didn't. I was going to say, I thought I spelled it wrong, but I spelled it right. So we're going to say beet, egg. Boom. How hard is that? Now notice, we do not need to put the measurements. We don't need to say beat one egg because that's right here. Okay, our next step is 2. We're going to stir fry in a hot skillet and then set egg aside. We'll copy. Okay. Now, look back here at the graphic. This box that says stir fry in a hot skillet, set egg aside, is next to 2 ingredients. It's next to the egg and it's next to the half tablespoon of oil. Now, like I said earlier, and I'm going to repeat this because people don't seem to get it. Normally, I would say beat egg and stir fry in oil. I would not put measurements. But because oil is on the recipe 3 different times, where's my 3? 3 different times, I need to specify which oil I'm referring to. Okay? Kind of like if this recipe had olive oil and walnut oil and vegetable oil, you wouldn't just say add oil, you would have to specify. Okay? This is the rare occasion where you need to put measurements in the procedure. All right, so you're going to have to use your brain here. Stir fry in a very hot skillet using 1/2 tablespoon of oil. Okay, broke up my skillet. Stir fry in very hot skillet. They want me to put there we go. Let's get this yahoo out of the way. All right, step 3, nothing. Dice carrot. Again, we're not going to say dice. You have to specify. What are we going to dice? Carrot. Do we need to put in a measurement? No, there's only 1 carrot, and it's the only carrot in the recipe. So logically, we don't have to specify 1 carrot. And the rules say we're not going to put measurements unless in the case of oil, where one ingredient is used more than once. Okay, so we're going to slice our green onions. Four slice green onions. Okay. Now our next step lightly stir fry. What do we lightly stir fry? Can I leave it like that and say, okay, move on to step 6? No, I can't do that. I need to specify what I'm lightly stir frying because this specifies it's a graphic recipe. It's got the information in the format. This one doesn't have to have that. We have to provide words to specify. So what are we lightly stir frying here? Peas, carrots, and onions. In, what are we doing it in? 1.5 tablespoons of oil. Okay, we don't need measurements for the peas or the carrots or the green onions, but we need it for the oil. Step 6. Toss together 1 tablespoon of oil and rice from day 1. All right. And I'm going to go down here to the next step, which is below. Mince garlic. All right. Now what's step 8? Okay, so after we've tossed, we stir fried these, we're going to add these and stir fry. So we're going to add to the pan of veggies. This is our pan of veggies right here. What are we going to add? Rice oil mix. Do I need to specify oil here? Well, no, because it's already been added into the rice up here. So, oops, I spelled one wrong. So, no, it's already a new item. It's oily rice, so I don't need to give measurements at this point. Use your brains, be logical. All right, add to the pan of veggies, rice oil mix, which is here, comma, soy sauce, salsa, garlic, and pepper. Everything between this line here and this line here. Well, let me check and make sure I did it right. Add to the pan of veggies, which is the peas, carrots, and green onions. I'm going to add my rice oil mix, my soy sauce, my minced garlic, and pepper. All right. And our next step add in, okay, what are we adding in? Everything between this line and the one at the bottom here. So we're adding in our egg, shrimp, and mushrooms. Stir fry till golden brown. Okay, you could, if you want to, you could make 9 and 10 one step. You could say add in egg, shrimp and mushrooms, comma, stir fry until golden brown. But I put it in separate lines. It doesn't really matter. And that's it. Easy peasy, right? So once again, I can't say this enough. You need to specify which oil you're referring to. Other than that, don't give me measurements in the procedure. So once again, no measurements in the procedure unless it's something that repeats. Like oil is here, and oil is here. So you have to specify. Got it? Good. Let me see if there's anything else. You guys, if you've made it this far, you're interested in doing it correctly. All right, that looks pretty good to me.